Good morning, SMITE fans, or good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from, because this, of course, is the SMITE Global Series. I, of course, am Tom Battinger, and this, the illustrious Anatoly Alexeyev. How you guys doing out there in Chetland? And Toly, how you doing today?
Feeling really good. It's Wednesday, my dude. So taking over week number 4 for Oceania. Gonna see some interesting stuff between Jackson 5 versus Insight today.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of these teams really come and try to bring their best. Of course, the goal is to make it to HRX. They've got to come through the ringer. You guys just have to buy some tickets. HighResExpo.com gets you in the door. SMITE, Paladins, both console, PC, both consoles going on. And of course, a slew of other things. That's the exciting part about DreamHack, is that you're going to be at the big boy table. So many other events, so many other esports there, and people to meet. Certainly something you want to do. That, of course, is the main event. But after that, we're going to main event.
That's right, HRX After Party. Make sure you get your tickets as well, just to hang out with all of us, the casters, all the fans, the players, and all the community involved.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite parts of the year every single time. It's usually in January. It gets cold. I get sick. Now it's in November. It's less cold. The party's going to be sick, but I won't be. It's going to be really dope. $50 helps you out with that one. And this is where everybody sort of hangs out.
Yep.
I think this is the goal of the year. No pictures, but certainly a lot of fun.
Well, it's going to be a lot of action here for Oceania as we're approaching Insight against Jackson 5 today. This is week number 4, so we're looking at the week 1 rematches where it was actually Jackson 5 that fell to Insight before.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. Picks and bans on the way. What are you expecting, Totally, out of these two teams?
It's got to be the standard cookie-cutter stuff. I'm always expecting the Baron to be prioritized by the first team, maybe banned away by the second, and normally Chernobog is left open. This Hunter has just been literally a living nightmare for everyone. Pun intended, absolutely there. The ultimate is just creating so much chaos and havoc. The split push hunters fell of yesteryear with Apollo not being in the meta, so this allows more of a split pushing opportunity now.
We have seen some of the rise of Apollo. Emelito on Energy in the SMITE Pro League European side has certainly been a little bit excited about that pick. Apollo has recently gotten some love with respects to how he can get his knockup back with the ultimate, so it is a nice choice to sort of follow up the global with the global. But yeah, Naja taking down a peg, still a very exciting selection. I'm with you. I'm expecting to see the Baron prioritized. I'm expecting to see Freya prioritized. Jackson 5 right now going to ban out Serket.
No surprise there. It's going to be the Doinkster piloting the jungler, so you don't want to allow Insight that kind of opportunity. He really carries this team on the back, so taking away another jungler is not going to be another jungler, actually. It's going to be the Morgan instead.
Well, the Morgan, you know it. You might have been right the first time. The Morgan plays a couple of positions here and there. Baron going to be banned out alongside Chernobog. Insight certainly taking care of the newer characters. Athena, the choice for Jackson 5. The Global Guardian, always an interesting prospect, regardless of the meta, really.
Absolutely.
I don't think there was ever a time where people have said, no thanks, Athena.
Athena, since like the very beginning, with Neith, with Agni, with Thor, like this is like your traditional composition for all the CCs and follow-ups, and this allows a lot of flexibility for the mid lane afterwards. But Insight responding now with a Naja and a Zhong Kui.
Naja and Zhong Kui are going to be the selections here for Insight. One assassin probably in the jungle. And Zhong Kui traditionally has been played both in the mid and the solo lane. Solo lane, I think, a little bit more often, but we have seen that mid laner come out as of late. So an interesting choice there. Dusa and a Musin Cop coming out, so the double Hunter composition for Jackson 5. One of them is going to be landing against Opwash.
It doesn't really matter which one, honestly, because I think both of them should have the advantage. Whenever you pair up a physical hunter against a magical mage, the hunter will just out-trade you in the basic attacks. As long as you avoid some of the projectiles from Opwash, you should be relatively okay.
In the first couple of levels, it's hunters all the way, but as soon as Opwash hits that level 4, level 5, you just can't touch him. And if you get in basic attack range, you're probably going to die anyway, because Corpse Explosion into the Raised Dead, so a very scary matchup here for Jackson 5. Second round of bans coming out. No hunters for Jackson 5, and focus on Ratatasker and Sobek for Insight. Amaterasu will be the selection here, where Jackson 5 responds with a Cerberus, and now they need a jungler. It's a Daji.
I like the Daji and Cerberus combination. They were lacking magical damage. Cerberus has a heavy punch required.
Yeah.
If you hit the paralyzing spit after the ghastly breath, so much damage. Daji should be able to take advantage of a lot of this immobile mages. Zhong Kui Outwash doesn't have the gap closer, so that should be relatively easy pickings once you go into Powwow.
Well, Rom here is going to be the response from Insight. He'll be hanging out there in the long lane. Jackson 5 has a very mid to late game composition, I would say. Medusa and Amusing Cop, really kind of hit their stride there. Whereas Insight certainly looking for the late game. Game 1 on the way for Jackson 5 versus Insight.
Jackson 5. It's an interesting composition between these double hunters. Normally you would expect like a Fafnir to synergize more with them, but I think Athena will do so just correctly considering the taunt into the Petrify, looking for a lot of burst damage. And Medusa really serves the same purpose that a magical mage would do anyway. Her abilities certainly hit quite hard, especially with all the scaling.
Yeah, when you look at AMC, he is very divisive, if you will. He's got two sort of builds. He can be in-hand based or magic or ability based. Right now, Insight, they're invade based, looking for the enemy speed buff, and they'll get it. 3-man group up here from Insight, and Jackson 5's response is to shift over to their own red buff. That said, Insight going to clean up the entire right side of the map.
And I like what they left behind. Yada was able to get his own speed buff, so there's no counter invades. Ming Yu picking up his own red buff. The only thing left available is Insight's purple, Insight's blue, but with this much of a grouping on the right side, blue invade is out of the question.
Just not going to be there. Insight able to take out their enemy's blue buff, though. So a nice look for Insight already, just staying on the enemy side, trying to create and keep this pressure is definitely what they're looking for. Jackson 5 is going to have it naturally because of the Hunter, like you were talking about, in the middle lane. So Insight try to combat that a little bit by looking into the enemy jungle.
And both Hunters already from Jackson 5 going for this Transcendence rush. However, Figuras going for Hunter's Blessing beforehand, whereas Damo wanting to get some mana MP5 beforehand because he knows he's going to be spamming very often, whereas in the mid lane, you rely on your jungler sometimes for clear, so you might not always need that mana and MP5 right off the bat.
Exactly. That's really the key there is the mana consumption for AMC so very high. Medusa can kind of fake it a little bit. That said, as the hives get leveled up for Damo, he's going to be able to get some MP5 from them, so a nice little look there for the Amusing Cob player. Something we just don't see that often.
Not quite often at all, but the scaling very high. Look what Doinkster is doing on the backhand side. Gets the sash and the ring bounce. Is doing a whole lot of damage, but Yada already uses abilities to clear the wave instead.
That said, that's not really a drop from Yada. I think if he doesn't clear the wave, then of course the Hunters are just going to step on them. So I think Yada makes the right choice. It is unfortunate to see that first blood kind of walk away. But no harm, no foul just yet. Jackson 5 and Insight here, trying to figure out what their next moves are.
Insight's dual lane having to play relatively passive now because Jackson 5 is just unrelenting with this Amusing Cop pressure. A lot of scaling on the Beast Swarm, but being able to do 80% scaling. That's why he really wants to get that Transcendence online as quickly as possible. 110% scaling on the Stinger, whereas Medusa's Petrify is nothing to scoff at either, sitting at 100% scaling.
Yeah, both of these characters have been, I always call them the Mage Hunters, right? These characters certainly have the ability to really change team fights. Medusa a little bit more so with respect to the team fight, but the Amusing Cob, his claim to fame has always been wave clear, but also the burst damage that comes from that Stinger.
Absolutely, and just the slows that he provides. If you can get the honey on the ground, the hives providing so much extra mobility. Even though he doesn't have a gap closer, he's one of the most agile hunters in the game.
Yeah, he zooms. That movement speed on those hives very, very high. It's an exciting sort of part of the kit. Look at that, 30% movement speed just for being in the hives once it's leveled up. And most players will level that up second, actually, above the honey.
I think Snoopy was actually maxing it out first at one point in his career, trying to get off some early sneaky gold furies, because that attack speed is definitely intimidating to go up against when you're out trading the opposition, even though, because you could eventually juke out an ability, so while you're maxing out the ability, like you miss it, then all of a sudden, what do you have left, right? Whereas Snoopy would have all this attack speed behind him to outtrade you.
Dashing forward, looking for Ming Yu. No big damage there. Tomo does hit level 5, so all of a sudden he's a threat.
Yep.
That said, Doinkster coming through. Simply is here as well. I don't think Doinkster knows he's being tracked by the enemy jungler. Doinkster looking for the initiation. Here's a little bit of a slow as AMC catches it. Half HP for Double the Dank already. Missed abilities coming out from Doinkster, and the chop down is good. Simply puts number 1 on the board. Jackson 5 with the first blood.
Damo the Dank hits his stinger, avoids Windfire Wheels, and allows his jungler simply to get that first blood. Great start now for Jackson 5, because that looked like this AMC was dead to rights. He had no beads, Tom. He started up for the Aegis instead. A little bit of a drop kill.
Yeah, that was absolutely a drop kill. Doinkster is missing the ultimate. That cannot happen if you're playing the Nanja. That's what you're there for. Really rough stuff. Gold Fury just now spawning, so no team really had an opportunity off of that kill. Players are a little bit weak at the moment, so...
I think now that Weave has hit level 5, this Amaterasu becomes a serious threat against Damo that doesn't have beats. You can force that Aegis with a dazzling offensive, and then maybe have Doinkster go in for round number 2.
Did Harpy's going to Insight? Yeah, I see what you're saying. Let Weave sort of start things off. He does have the power with the auras as well. Got in some trouble, but the beads will get him out for the moment. Didn't expect that from Goras. And the mid lane Medusa picks up 1. Doinkster will trade out, taking care of Medusa. So he does get punished. But now, the rotation from the solo laner. Sean just keeping the enemy Zhonghui out of the fight. I like that.
Jackson wants no part of the Chuckle action. Just going to keep him zoned away. The Zhonghui, not scary yet with only cooldown boots, but you add a Void Stone to the mix, and then all of a sudden, all this damage over time becomes even more obnoxious to have to deal with before the magical defense become online for Jackson 5 even.
Yeah, just the potency, I think, is a little scary.
That could have been a kill.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think Chuckles, if he committed to his ultimate after, like as soon as you see the jump, you ulti. And then you do your combo, because it takes a little bit of time to use your ult.
Doinkster going to hit his target this time, simply lands on the floor, but there's Chuckles. And they're laughing in the bank. Nice kill for the solo laner. Setup coming by way of Doinkster, of course. That's a nice redemption play from the dropped first blood on the left side of the map, and it will actually give Insight the lead for now.
So I wanted to talk about more about that solo play action, because even without the jump, there is the play of Stygian Torment to maybe bring your enemy closer to the tower or bring your enemy away from you. But while you're getting pulled by the Cerberus, the ghosts are still flying out one by one. So you might hit 4 ghosts during the channeled ability of Stygian Torment, and you'll get the card off at least for sure. So slight missed opportunity, but it did force Sean to back on now, giving this 1 level lead now to Chuckles.
Now, the Zhonghui starting to get a little bit scary.
Oh yeah, look at
8, 9, 10 is really when I start disliking it. Sleepy looks for the taunt onto Yada. Not going to be able to get the kill this time. Medusa a little bit too late. Now Sleepy is going to be turned on. And the Athena player does suffer for his transgressions. Yada hit up here. Don't think he has the beads, and he doesn't. Going to be pulled out by the dodge. He's scared away by the rest of Insight.
Chuckles even making the rotation in the mid lane, wanting to make sure simply would not find the return kill. I like the idea that Sleepy and Figueras had, you know, the taunt, petrify combo. Unfortunately, Figueras a little bit too late to the party with that ultimate. The communication, as soon as you say, okay, I'm going for dash taunt, as soon as you see the Athena dash, that's when the Petrify comes out, because this early on, Athena's taunt is not that high of a level to really confirm the Petrify.
Yeah, it's a small amount of time, so you've got to be able to do it immediately. You saw Yada not get stunned out and just get slowed. That's a problem.
1 second at level 1, channeled all the way up to 2 at max rank. Some Athenas max out the taunt right off the bat. Some go for damage and lane clear by going for the shield wall instead. It's all a matter of preference in the way Jackson 5 want to run it.
You know, you say preference, actually. Yesterday I said that playstyle is a dirty word in competitive gaming, usually. There are very few examples where you can kind of do what you want. I think this is one of them. I think that the Athena should normally look for the shield wall. I think that's kind of the default.
Sure.
But
that's
when
the ranked mentality, where it's like, okay, I'm going to clear the wave, help my hunter in the dual lane, but I'm like, oh, okay, but now I'm not going to be able to set up my mid because my taunt's not that high level, and that's where that balance tries to be in play.
And meanwhile, you look at the hunter that she's with, Double the Dank is an AMC. He doesn't need help clearing the wave.
It's true.
I would have much rather seen the taunt be prioritized here. Another missed Windfire Wheels. Doinkster. That's not going to work, buddy.
Not going to work, but still doing a decent amount of poke onto Thegoros that doesn't have lifesteal or any characters around him that can heal him up. And if you're that low in the mid lane, I don't care if you're a mage or a hunter, you're in trouble.
Well, Sean's in trouble. Chuckles pops the ultimate. This time Simply's going to come, pop on top, and Chuckles gets punished. Sean right there, nice job just running away and trusting his teammates.
Wrong place at the wrong time, simply making it happen alongside Sleepy's ultimate for the hot cleanup. And that was going to be a nice just win for Chuckles just in the trade factor.
There's Sleepy getting aggressive. Weave uses the ultimate to avoid the inevitable taunt into Goros's ultimate. That was why we see Weave pop out that ult. It might have seemed a little bit odd, but the CC immunity is to prevent the inevitable combo. Medusa, Athena.
It hurts.
When Medusa came out, when they revealed her, every Reddit thread was Athena combo, Athena combo, Athena combo.
Same thing with Xingwei, right? The persistent gust combination with the Athena taunt makes it such a better and more potent knockup, but it's true. Athena first pick can just allow the rest of your composition to just naturally develop to almost anything.
Yeah, and just being, she literally says, face me, and you can't face Medusa. And a lot of times when characters get introduced or there's something found out nice and early, that's not really how it works out, right? There's so many variables and functions change. Nah, the Medusa-Athena combo is that gnarly. It is that potent. It's very, very tough to deal with, even with beads. I think we're going to see some Magi's blessings, or Magi's cloaks around here as well.
And even when Athena came out before, when it was like, oh, Athena Thor ulti combo, right? Like you have to think about those combos. You got to think about when Nox came out. It's like, oh, the Shadow Step combination with Defender of Olympus. You could have a three-way kind of like knock-up and a huge just fiesta over there, but Insight controlling the vision around the Gold Fury, not wanting to do the Oracles though, maybe a bait.
Jackson 5 going to go for it. Insight thought about going for a team fight there. I think they expected 2 people to show up. I think they expected the 3-on-2, but instead Jackson 5 brought 4 players, bringing both the duo lane and the mid, so they had to back off.
Doinkster catching Damo, still no beats, only the Aegis. He lands. Doesn't even use it. He knew he was dead to rights. You're not getting away from Doinkster and Mingyu.
Yeah, interesting itemization coming out as well. We see the shifter shield for Doinkster. I mean, that's just raw power.
Oh yeah,
usually
a lot
we
of
see
damage.
Some CDR. Chuckles right now wishes he had something, because he's just getting beat on up. Simply combines with the teammates and takes down El Chuckles.
Yada forced to use the beats up in the sky, looking for Simply, needs to land one shot. Mingyu gets it as Weave taking out Thegoros. Now it's Doinkster in a lot of trouble after the taunt. 4 kills, only losing 2 is Insight.
Mingyu with the double kill as Sleepy goes down. 3 players eating it. Insight gonna look for the tier 1 tower, not interested in the Gold Fury just yet. Tie game at the moment, 500 gold for this one. Sean goes down, Mingyu with the extended triple kill.
Wow, that's an unofficial deicide with Damo the Dank reviving after that whole scuffle in the left lane, transitioning that from the duo all the way to the mid. Insight really starting things off with a bang in this best of 3 set.
Insight don't go for the Gold Fury after that. Everybody respawning right now.
I don't mind it because I highly doubt Jackson 5 can even go for it. If they wanted to, they could maybe commit off of seeing them back. Damo the Dank would need to receive the Athena ultimate, but it's not available now. Sleepy not going to be able to execute that, so no real threat then.
Just walking away. Insight do get the tier 1 tower. That gives them about a 1,500 gold lead or so, it looks like. Above Jackson 5. 13-13 on the clock, and Insight with a very small nominal start.
Thegoros is going to be the victim this time from Doinkster, landing back down. It's a whole heap of damage.
Whoa!
Weave and Yada making it happen. It was a good petrify, but no real follow-up.
I love to see the petrify, but that's one of those where everybody just goes, hey, you stunned? Yeah, me too.
Cool.
Anything happening? Nah, we'll just wait. No beads even necessary. Jackson 5 makes a smart move by rotating over and looking for the Pyro. They already know they're not getting the Gold Fury. Top of the Dank in some trouble. Here comes help. Doinkster low, but here comes the rest of Insight. Top of the Dank, Aegis for the moment, but Yada gonna follow things up with the last hit. 2 for the Opwash. 3, 1, and 7 in total for the long-haired mid lane monster.
I understand the idea that Sleepy had by dashing in for the taunt to maybe find the kill onto Doinkster, but because the dash puts you closer to Damo, the ring bounce slows Damo, allows the rest of Insight to catch up to him, specifically Chuckles with the ultimate to tank the tower long enough to commit to the tower dive, and now even go for the tier 2 as a result.
Yeah, just easily taking the lead here is Insight. 41 thou-wow for them. And Jackson 5, 37-5. So a nice lead started by Insight with a quick tier 1 tower in the mid lane.
Oh,
and it all just went south from there.
Doinkster's not done yet. He can need a couple tower shots and allow Chuckles to commit to this. I like the pathing that Chuckles goes in. Even has the blink, applies the slow at the last second. No stun available. Yada setting up for the bait. Simply is going to have to come down sometime.
He's got one, but again, Insight just goes, hey, you stunned? Yup. Anybody coming?
Nope.
Nope. So, okay. No, not a big deal there. Insight repeatedly getting CC'd as an escape method for Jackson 5. Tier 1 tower on the right side crumbles. Only 2 towers left, mid and right side tier 2s. So Insight right now had a very good minutes, 13 to 15. It's taken 2 minutes to really break this one open.
Oh, yeah.
3,600 gold in the lead, which is where Insight is going to look to build from.
And a lot of kills lead also. 7 kill differential between these two teams, but the respawn timers are not long enough to really abuse it to get substantial farm to topple over the opposition. So there's still some comeback potential from Jackson 5. They're not out of it by any stretch.
Oh, for sure.
But
with the 3,000 gold deficit, I mean, teams have come back from 10, 12. It's certainly not something to forget about.
Simply yet again getting caught out by Doinkster. Good plays from Insight's jungler.
Insight also are sticking together at the moment, and that helps Najah players as well, because he's able to go up into the sky and deal with it.
Look at all the vision as well around the red buff from Jackson 5. Sentry ward, left side mid Harpy, sentry ward between the red and the purple, even a regular ward underneath the purple, so you can definitely identify where anyone is in that left side.
Sean's in trouble. He gets stunned up, chased down by Doinkster. The rest of Insight are here. Athena ultimate use, and the ring bounce just in time.
Doinkster's like, oh, okay, Athena's going to land? Sure, let me get off a quick ring bounce and run away for the poke.
Just get some poke, get some damage, lower their protections, slow them, speed me up.
So Figueroas just saw 4 people cross over to the left side of the jungle. He better know not to go on that side of the map. The red buff is dead to rights. This is what vision control allows you to do, and Insight are playing so well off of that intel.
Yeah, what I like is, so they've got 4 wards, honestly in odd places, but it's also a kind. It's a sentry ward down there on the left side, a sentry ward up there on the right as well, and I think that that's really important. The other 2 are kind of just regular wards, who cares? But the sentries allow them to not only make sure that they have vision, but deny the vision for Jackson 5, and obviously we all know what sentry wards do, but seeing them placed there totally, I think, is really important.
I love this play from Weave. Every single time you catch out Damo, just ulti him.
Yeah.
Repeatedly. Make him use the beats, because then that's going to allow Doinkster for his Windfire wheels later down the road.
And also, Damo the only one on Jackson 5 really successfully having a game here. He's 0-2-1, sure, but his experience is above that of his opposition. Goris has fallen 4 times, really hasn't been able to involve himself in the game. Damo the Dank is where Jackson 5 are looking for their comeback. 4,000, 5,000 gold, like we were talking about, that's striking distance, absolutely.
Yep.
Damo is incredibly dependent on the beads, and he's the guy that's going to bring his team back, if at all. So Insight, specifically Weave, focusing on Damo and his relics. I'm with you totally. Mwah! I love it.
But the thing is, with these double hunters from Jackson 5, right? Like, where's the Shogun's Kusari? Sleepy hasn't picked it up yet. Sean neither. So it kind of makes it feel a little lackluster to go for this idea.
Well, Fire Giant. Not so lackluster. I think that's a nice move there. 6,000 gold in the lead. Insight with the Fire Giant as well. There's a tall task for Jackson 5 to defend against.
Absolutely. They're hitting their stride. The power spikes out of Insight is starting to show itself. Gem of Isolations for both Chuckles and Yada. It's going to be so much slows. Chuckles can go in aggressively with a Blink ultimate, throw out the Ghost, and Yada can peel for himself by emptying the crypts. Doinkster with Shield of Regrowth for extra mobility. How are you ever going to run away from this team?
I do love the Shield of Regrowth on the Najah. Don't forget he's got the self-heal on the flaming spear, the second ability.
Yep.
So that helps him activate his zoom, right? On the other side, though, Jackson 5, they're the ones that have to deal with the slows, and they only have a single sprint.
I see.
Nobody else has a sprint.
And with the sprint from Weave, with the Amaterasu aura as well, that one sprint is not going to do Jackson 5 much justice.
It's not going to do jack.
Nope.
Like it. Jackson 5.
You need to stop, son.
Don't worry, you can moonwalk out of the conversation. It's all good, buddy.
How many steps?
No, that was a Michael Jackson reference because of Jackson.
I was
5.
trying to complete it, right? Because you said don't know Jack, and I'm like, you got to stop, son. And then I'm like, how many steps? And that's when you're supposed to say 5 steps.
Oh, I thought you were referencing the Burj Khalifa conversation from yesterday.
2,909 stairs.
Yeah. Crazy.
Every flight of stairs has about 16 stairs.
Yeah? You do that math in your head? Doinkster! I didn't expect that one. Gora's going to be in trouble here, likely met by the rest of the squad. There's the Aegis, but he gets stunned down mid-dash. Hot play by Insight. Ming Yu gets the kill. Yada going to take care of Double the Dank. 2 down for none. Tier 2 tower ignored as Insight just looking for blood. Simply going to be bleeding out on the right-hand side. Athena used the ultimate to save Sean. And Insight take care of the mid lane tower nice and easily. Now walking towards the Phoenix. And this one looks like could be the final push for Insight.
Definitely could be. A Fire Giant buff still around their waist for another minute and a half. Insight looking for Sean right out the skirts of the Titan Room. He gets off a good 3-man ultimate, but it's only Athena for follow-up.
He might be on the outskirts, but Insight gonna skirt right inside. Take care of the Titan. And that's gonna be that. Easy peasy for Insight. Just another walk in the park. And the boys take game 1 right home.
Considering this game ended at 21 minutes of action, the game didn't really pop off until minute 12 of the game. I think Jackson 5 still were holding their own, but their weaknesses really started to show off. I think the Aegis Amulet from Damo wasn't really too fruitful on the Amusin Cobb. Doinkster's rotation had been very fruitful, making it really happen. And once that Gold Fury started, that snuck away, it was just all Insight from there.
Yeah, I mean, that was Insight playing really, really well. You mentioned Doinkster, who had a very average game, in all honesty. Had some good moments, had a lot of bad moments, but his team was able to sort of lift up around him, which is a really big deal. Doinkster is traditionally one of the harder carries on this team, and this wasn't his best game. Well, listen, you're going to have average game.
This play, look, the gold is even. This is the play where Damo didn't have beats. Off of this play, I think Insight get the Gold Fury afterwards and then just run away wild. Also, it was the vision control on the left side of the map, being able to flank like this, catching out simply at the 16-minute mark. Things were just looking on the up and up for Insight.
Yeah, maybe, you know what really happened is that Doinkster had a rough start, but I think the midpoint and the end game really worked out for him and just sort of caught his stride. That allowed him and his team to really keep going forward and just look a little bit better as a unit. That just needed game number 1 nice and simply. So game 2 on the way. P's and B's, pretty please.
Just needed to warm up a little bit, right?
Yep.
Just get the whole engine running there, and definitely made it happen in the mid to late game. Now needing to make it happen is Jackson 5. They want to get back into this best of 3 set.
So last time we saw some jungle bans from J5, and we'll see the same thing. No Circuit here coming out for Jackson 5 or Insight. Insight going to stay on the meta, ban out the Chernobog. Jackson 5 looking for that Athena, and I like that play.
Oh, absolutely. If Jackson 5 aren't going to pick it, you might as well ban it away.
Yep.
They could be going for the Baron Samedi if they really want to, or they could try to take away the Naja from Doinkster and first pick it themselves.
Naja is available. Freya is still on the map as well. Could be something that Jackson 5 want to lean into, and it's going to be the Naja, taking the powerful jungler away from Doinkster. Despite its early game kind of faux pas, the late game looked really good for the Naja, and so Jackson 5 want to take that character away.
Just a lot of setup. Even if when you're against the Jean-Qui and the Apuash, you notice how in the last game, Insight picked Naja and Jean-Qui right away. So therefore, they're not going to have that counter where you can take the Jean-Qui up in the sky to negate some of his ghosts. But Insight are not deterred from that. They're actually going to pick the Jean-Qui into the Naja.
I like the Zhang Kui here. The Naja is a nice counter to it, but Zhang Kui and Amaterasu are two characters I really like together.
Sure.
Zhang Kui's big deal is he opts the ultimate and everybody runs away. And if Amy's going to be able to pop that aura with the speed, Zhang Kui's going to synergize really well with that. So as long as Zhang can avoid the Naja ult, which there's plenty of other targets for Naja to look at, and I think this is a nice pick, but it is a little bit scary knowing the interaction there. J5, Agni Terra.
A lot of damage from this Agni and great setup for team fights. Now, you don't have the sick wombo combo because it takes 3 bombs. Takes a little bit of time, maybe like 2.2 seconds to get off all 3 bombs entirely. So I like their jungle fight presence, but I don't like their burst potential quite yet.
Well, usually what happens with Naja and Agni players is Agni will leave the Path of Flames on the bottom, and then as soon as the character lands down from Naja, they get hit with the dot damage and they get stunned up, and that alone will allow the Naja to either combine with more damage, a bomb comes on top, and that character is usually dead. So not quite the Kraken approach, but that does require a second step. But Agni works out just fine. Vulcan, though, that's a character.
That's going to be spicy now. Those meatballs.
I don't like Vulcan here.
Because?
Vulcan, I don't like Vulcan into the Naja. I think that one of Vulcan's big ways to deal with players is to use the meatball to get them off of them. The Naja is going to use the artillery sash to avoid that anyway. Ring bounce is going to be amplified because of your turret. Bounce from the turret to the player, that's going to be an issue as well. Backfire doesn't get you out of range from Naja either. You're still in sash range, you're still in ring bounce range, you're still in ultimate range. Vulcan against the Naja, just not my favorite choice.
It's hit or miss. It's going to be a mechanical test for both of these players, and I love the Odin selection to trap in the Vulcan, to trap in the Zhang Kui. Amaterasu only on her can jump over this, so Insight have to go for a Phantom here.
Certainly a nice look here for Jackson 5 so far with their comp carry them to victory. Let's see, game 2 on the way, Insight and J5.
Yana will be piloting the Vulcan rushing for this Book of Thoth, as will Thigurus, now playing the traditional mid-mage, not going for the Medusa yet again. I was really surprised not to see that Shogun's Kusari in the last game. And in game number 1, it was Insight looking for the invade with the Naja. This time, they're still kind of posturing as if they're thinking about it.
Yeah, Insight, they want to show that they're here and that they're local, but with Odin making the movement over here into the jungle, they're a little bit dissuaded. So Insight won't hard commit to the invade, and instead we'll go for the traditional beginning.
But look at this flank. Mingyu and Weave. They know the start coming out from Jackson 5.
You know what? I said the traditional beginning, but this is anything but. Weave going to split up. Jackson 5 going to lose their red buff. Mingyu just overpowering Jackson, really.
Weave was able to chase Damo out of the action. Sprint was even being used by Weave, thinking that there was kill potential, but Mingyu with a better prize at the end of the road, thinking about the invade, secures it, and also stuns the Terra at the last moment, so no invade potential.
So the charged Morningstar, I think, is why Mingyu can really go so aggressive there in the jungle. It's interesting to see on her start with the Transcendence. Honestly, this character can go either way, Lifesteal or the Trans, but by going Transcendence, he's going to be able to have 20 power and look to make those plays in the jungle.
And also, his scaling is nothing to laugh at either. Between the Impale being at 80% scaling, between Desert Fury being at 30% scaling, for 8 spears total. You're looking at 240% scaling if you can connect all 8 of those spears. So I don't hate this Transcendence Rush. The 10% cooldown reduction as well, considering that Desert Fury's already at 75 seconds, so you're looking at about a 67-second ultimate.
Nice stun there coming out from the Jackson 5, guys. Sean on the Odin this time around. Chuckles one more time with the Zhang Kui. So last time we saw the matchup between the Doggo and Zhang Kui. Now we've got Panda Man, the Odin. What's your take on the Odin versus the Zhang in lane?
I still think that the Zhang Kui should have an advantage before level 5. Once level 5 happens, it's kind of hit or miss, because depending on the health disparity and also the mana usage, Chuckles can kill Sean if you trap him in the cage as well. So there's that risk versus reward. Sean needs to find a way to clear the wave and then trap the Zhang Kui, maybe in between waves, and look for that kill threat, since there's no healing inside the cage.
So what level should we be watching out for?
I think level 9s is when we're going to start seeing Sean to look for that poke damage. The Bird Bomb combination, if you land it, will out-damage the healing potential from Chuckles.
Mid lane, You see the mage come out from Gorus this time. No Medusa in his hands, excuse me. So Insight again. Get the red buff invade. 2 for 2 at the moment for Insight.
But Jackson 5 using this a little to their advantage by just freezing the wave right outside their tower, but they need to defend this purple buff simply around the corner, but it's too late!
Yeah, just very quickly. That's the damage that Anher has in the early game. Just impaled into the wall, a basic attacker too. And that be that. Yeah. Nice kill there coming out from Inside. First blood for them and their team.
Simply getting the purple buff, and look at this. The blink out of Doinkster onto Sean. I believe his jump is already used. He gets the slow off. The dot is good. Doinkster getting a second kill for his team.
Again, Insight with a good combination. Jungle over there with Hell Chuckles has been a really nice look. And then this duo lane, Mingyu, just one of the more popular hunters coming out from OCE for sure.
2 things needed to happen to make that gank successful. Number 1 was identifying where Simply was. Left side of the map, defending his own purple means that the gank on the right side, very fruitful. Number 2 was Sean just jumped to clear the wave, and that's the bane of Odin's existence in the Soul Lane. If you don't know where the enemy jungler is, just expect to get ganked.
Yeah, a lot of times what you see the high-level Odins do, and of course this has more to do with the level. He's very low. As you max out your shield, you can just sort of stand in the wave. Sleepy right now hoping to stand, but he'll be laying down Mingyu one more time.
Really feeling himself, just getting the Desert Fury off despite Damo having his dive bomb. And that's how you know you're confident right there. You're just kind of showing off and trying to intimidate the opposition, because that was not a kill threat.
No, not at all. That was just, like you said, just sort of damage for damage's sake. Yeah, that's going to cause trouble for Sean if he's going to use that jump every time to clear that wave. It just puts you in a bad spot. It's like Agni using the dash to clear the wave. The enemy knows that you are a target after that.
And Tears using their dash to clear the wave, like all these escapes potentially.
Well, with Tear, at least he's got another eject button with the swag flip. With Odin, you jump, and with Agni, you dash, and there's like an alarm that goes off.
Well, I was thinking about before level 2. I remember in season 3, there was a lot of kill potentials where junglers would wait around the corner for Tears to show up to the wave. All of a sudden, they use their Fearless, and then here comes the horrific emblem from the Soul Laner.
Well, here comes Simply. And a horrific time for Doinkster. Goes up in the powwow for now. Going to be able to get both players. Chorus here with the bomb.
Oh, too far. He didn't really see exactly where Doinkster landed through that wall. Counting his lucky stars is this dodgy jungle.
Yeah, also, I mean, Doinkster just waited for it. You know, he's been looking to dodge that out. So nice play there. Dodgy. Still 3 kills to nil. As Insight able to wiggle their jungler out of trouble there. Nice plays, but Jackson 5 trying to get on the board. Weave going to turn around with the ultimate. Stuns out 1. Beads are good. And Yada couldn't get in position to follow up just yet because of the smooth beads coming out from Simply.
Just no mana also from Yada. He could have definitely dropped that ultimate if he really wanted to, but nothing to really play with. Having to back to base now. Trying to finish off that Book of Thoth will finally do so at 6 minutes. A pretty good pacing for him, considering that Figueroas didn't have that same luxury. Opts to finish off the pen boots instead.
Doinkster here looking for the Oracle Vision. You'll get it. Nice and easy. Insight continuing to run this game. 2,000 gold at 6 minutes totally. So, just in game number 1, we were talking about how 2,500, 3,000 gold is a very small lead, if anything. But right now, the lead is smaller than that, but much bigger because of the time.
And now Jackson 5 are having to accentuate their own red buff. This puts them even further behind. Simply can't really finish off the penetration item he wants to at the rate that he's normally used to. 4 members from Inside invading the red.
And there's going to be a nice change as Terra pops the ultimate. But now Sleepy in trouble, and Sleep is what he'll be doing. Mingyu, 3 kills in total for the Anher player. Looking good, feeling good. Double kill for Mingyu.
Damo! Damo couldn't jump over. That wall was too thick. Mingyu with a hot triple kill. Only 7 minutes of play. Somebody stop him.
5 kills in 7.5 minutes. Mingyu on top of the world right now. Gold's here going to go in his direction as well.
This is looking mighty dicey for Jackson 5. Insight really commanding game number 2, feeling really confident after game number 1. They didn't have this kind of a lead up until the 16-minute mark last game, Tom.
Yeah, And that's what I was getting at earlier, is that the lead, gold is relative totally. And the 3,000 gold lead that we were saying was relatively small, as Sean locks in the Jean-Qui, here at this moment is relatively large.
Yes.
I want you to break that down a little for me.
It's all about the scaling of the Gold Furies, because now with this kind of a lead, you can have even more vision control. You can invade more red buffs. You can try to get the second Gold Fury that's about to come up to even exponentially increase that gold even further. The difference between 2 items versus 1.5 is what's separating these teams.
Shuckles dodges out the artillery sash, and frankly lives because of it. I think if Sleepy hits artillery sash, that's a dead Jean-Qui. Especially with Sleepy making the rotation.
Simply no ultimate, though, or just now coming back off of cooldown. If that sash hit, considering that was like 10 seconds ago, no ultimate. I think Chuckles was still fine.
Well, Sleepy
Odin
was there, too. That was the problem.
Sleepy, I guess, could definitely make the impact, considering there's no beads from it. Celestial Legion helmet provides a lot of protections, though.
Daji going to chase the beads out from Dommel the Dank. Nice win there. Doingster just using it. Dommel the Dank could be in trouble. He's going to back under his tower. Cancel that. He's going to keep going. Right side. Again, another invade from Insight as they look to take care of Simply. Wasted Vulcan ultimate. And Sean getting cut down by Doingster. He's going to exit to the right as he drops down the ring.
The bomb's doing a decent amount of damage. Desert Fury forcing out the shield. Figueros is going to dash away. Sleepy getting Doingster in the backhand side. Chuckles was thinking about diving the tier 2 tower.
Oh.
Yada gets 1. Mingyu gets even 2.
Justice. Insight. Making it happen. Before 10 minutes. 5,000 gold in the lead here. 9-1, read the kills. Insight right now, we're just trying to make it happen. Yeah, look at that.
The disparity between these two hunters. A much needed ultimate from Damo if he wants to keep his tier 1 tower alive for the next 30 seconds.
Not even just the disparity between the two hunters, Tully, but all Insight members are above all Jackson 5 members as far as net worth is concerned. Usually you'll see the odd solo laner, right, kind of mess up there. The jungler is farming relatively well, and so that won't be so spread differently, top team, bottom team. But Insight, the point I'm making here that the graph highlights is that they are winning in all spots possible.
Oh,
Simply going to go down there as well, even with help from the mid laner.
That was a good bomb stun into a second bomb, but not having the third bomb, not having the ultimate for Simply to get away from that, or the beads. Good recognition from Insight's jungler. Doingster made it happen game 1 on the Naja, and now making it happen in game 2 on the Daji.
Simply trying to make it happen, but he won't. 0-2-0 at the moment. He did go into the Jotun's build, which is the old school builds, as opposed to the power that we saw from Doingster off the rip in game number 1.
That's right, going for the shifter shield in game number 1 was Doingster. Now switching it up to the Jotun's Wrath for himself as Yada going to get stunned out. No real follow-up. Yada not too concerned because look where Chuckles is. All right, under that tier 1 tower.
Yeah, and Mingyu here as well, so everybody afraid of the Honor at the moment. Another red buff invade. Tully.
They haven't got a single red buff, was Jackson 5, this entire game. Even with the Sentry Ward that they placed, Insight still consistent with these invades. The key strategy was to exploit the physical power difference between the Anhur and the Hou Yi. Transcendence 2 versus the Hunter's Blessing. Devo Glove start, physical power heavily favored Mingyu with the Enfeeble passive. You can't really fight that at level 1, especially with Weave being the Amaterasu.
Gorus is able to take down 1. So Yada will just be looking on. Tier 1 tower on the left side goes down. Insight, they see the remainder of Jackson 5 on the right side of the map, so it's just a dual lane to worry about. They'll take the fight aggressively. Gorus in trouble, and Doinks are going to aggress onto him. Meanwhile, left lane, it looks like Insight looking perfectly fine as they take a 2-on what will become a 2-on-1 with the backing of the support.
Doinkster is trying to lead the charge. Chuckles gets off the slope, but the shield is going to keep him alive, but can't say the same for Simply, but just barely flaming, spearing himself up to top himself off as Chuckles now under the tier 2 tower. Not going to get caged, still on cooldown. And they're doing this without the Phantom.
Yeah. I mean, the Phantom is... Sean hasn't really had that impact. Now, I mean, everybody has yet to reach level 12 outside of being you. So you've got this whole group of potentials. And I'd like to see at least one, because if Jackson 5, if Insight don't close this game out very quickly, 20 minutes or so, right? Then J5 will have that opportunity to take advantage of the Odin Ring and do all of that nice stuff. But here, not really too concerned. At the moment, they're 9,000 gold up before 13 minutes.
This is nuts.
What do you do?
Absolutely bonkers the way Inside is playing off of this. The MVP performance thus far from Mingyu. Whoever called the strategy of the red buff invades should also get a very hefty pat on the back.
Yeah, I think this was the natural sort of the natural progression of where they came from in game number 1, right? Game number 1, Insight invaded the speed buff and invaded here and there, but what they were doing was gathering the information that Jackson 5 doesn't really know how to deal with the invades.
Well, it's also Terra level 1, not the strongest. Amaterasu level 1 is a beast.
Yeah.
On her also falls in that category.
What makes Amaterasu so beastly at level 1?
The passive.
The passive?
The passive, the aura as well, between the movement speed, between extra physical power that you're giving to Mingyu. That's what they did. That's what even the SPL teams in Europe do at level 1, because they don't care about clearing the wave at level 1. They want to kill you at level 1.
Trouble here for the Doinster. He's going to go into his own ultimate. Can't find Nanda. Oh, he gets him in the beast war to use. That's a death. Oh, simply won't be there any longer. And it's your boy, Sean. It's your boy, Doinkster. Number 13, a baker's dozen for Insight. Looking cute, feeling cute. And Oceana just gonna be punched. Insight. Really work. Oh, come on.
Mingyu really going to take advantage now with this rotation. I like it. I don't know if he's going to get this Phoenix, because it's going to be close, though. Don't have the Gladiator minions to really absorb this. Gets off about maybe 30% of that Phoenix health. Can go for round 2 once they get another wave.
Comes a fight, though. Sleepy in the middle lane has to run away. Meatball! Yada serving that one up 2-1 and 6 for the mid lane monster. Inside in the middle lane now, trying to defend their towers. 3 towers do remain. Insight need to make quick work of them. Goris makes quick work of the Doinkster.
Doinkster not really respecting those bombs. Will pay the ultimate price. Dead for about 35 seconds. Goris trying to defend his tier 1 tower. Can't defend it for too long. Eats a lot of damage. Mingyu in the backhand side. Desert Fury!
He gets him with the last spear. Hot damn. Nice play there from Mingyu. Yada. He's going to go down. Simply does make the play that the assassin needed to make. That was a really big play. Question I asked Toli, is it too little, too late?
Could be. It's an 11,500 gold lead. Not even 16 minutes into the game. Jackson 5 just need to desperately hold on for dear life under these tier 2 towers. And that's before Insight even have the Fire Giant yet.
Yeah, no Fire Giant pull just yet. It's only 16 minutes in. Insight are over 10,000 gold up. This is a game 1, Totally. I surrender this if I'm Jackson 5. You just got to get in, just got to get out. But for me here for game number 2, I mean, this is it. You got to win. So you can't surrender here. How do you claw your way out from this early of this big of a deficit?
Jackson 5, honestly, it could be too little too late for them to claw themselves out. They would have to hope that Insight get too ambitious by wasting time, the same way that Mingyu wasted a little bit of time on the left side trying to go for the Phoenix. Simply.
Doinkster just trying to catch the guy slipping. He's backing. And nice little play there.
That's a death. That's how you know.
I love the play there from Doinkster. He waits, he gets jumped on, but the enemy gonna suffer nonetheless. Mingyu off screen gets one, Chuckles on screen gets another, and Doinkster, oh man, that was so, can I just say that was cool?
That was cool. Cool guys don't look at explosions.
No, he looked at the explosion. He drops down the dot and he watches the player.
He put on his shades as well. He's like, I'll see you later, simply.
He lit him on fire, put on the shades, and watched him burn. Yeah. And then he sees the guy come with a bat, and he just gets hit by it. And then he throws him to the side.
That was like a little loft ball that was being served up to Mingyu. Going to jump over the bomb. Phoenix on the left-hand side, still very low. Mingyu needs to get one more basic attack off it, but not going to be able to confirm it quite yet.
Mingyu trying to run away, jumps out of the cage. Not me this time. Beads are good. Vulcan over the wall, cuts the ADC in half. Mingyu does fall down. 911 is a slash on, and it's what Jackson 5 need to call right now. Because Insight, even though they're low, they could lose this fight. Jackson 5, this is their moment. Insight getting a little over aggressive.
That's exactly what was happening. They were just taking a little bit too long to get themselves off on the left side, and as a result, it's all Jackson 5 making a comeback, but Chuckles has something else to say about it.
Yeah, but John Kui just coming through with the ghost trouble for Sean. He's gonna fall down. Doinkster gets the kill. Doinkster's still alive. They're gonna keep their assassin alive. Terra can't catch up. Doinkster's in, out, left, right, up, down, start, select.
I need to breathe.
Jackson 5 certainly feel like the bad guys in Contra as Insight just gunning them down.
Doinkster says he needs to take a little bit of a break, but there's no break for him right now. He's thinking about blinking into the action. He blinks through the ricochet. That looked like it might have actually hit him.
That was so hot. I think it was going to hit. If he doesn't blink like that, he dies. And if he dies, he dies. So Insight just coming at him left, right, and center like Rocky. Oh boy, what a game. This is Insight just going, hey, look how good we are. That's all that's going on right now. Yada, Mingyu, Chuckles. These guys are long-time mainstays of the oceanic scene, and this is what you've got to come to expect if you're going to play against them in the SGS. Insight game number 2. Game number 1 ended at 21 minutes. Game number 2 here, Insight.
Oh, the baits. Mingyu was like, wait a second. Is that an Odin? Or is that an Odin?
He just walked past.
I think that was an Odin, guys. Did you guys see him?
No, I don't think so.
I'm like, I could have sworn there was an Odin right there.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe just a little bit.
And he wasn't there anymore.
Oh, Goris.
Oh, Goris, you're in the wrong
Are they going to
spot.
hunt him down?
Oh, yeah. They're going to chase him down. There's no way Mingyu doesn't give this up with his speed buff. He's dead. They're going to, yep, they saw the little back animation through the corner. Figueroa's dashing away to the left side. It's not a bad idea to waste their time, too, because Yada needs to be present on the Fire Giant for the confirm. And actually, if I'm Figueroa, I'm going to go back the same way I came in. Look to stop this from happening.
I don't know about that one.
It's too late.
Mingyu has his ultimate. That one works. Simply shows up. Jackson 5 snatching away the ring bounce of destiny. But what about the fight after the fact? Honor is going to pick up one. Vulcan from a distance hits his own team. Double un for Mingyu. And 3 players have Fire Giant, but Tali doesn't matter.
Nope, not at all. It's going to be a nice triple kill yet again for Mingyu. 12, 1 death, and 2 assists. This guy is literally on fire. He has a 13.0 KDA right now.
Ridiculous. Just ridiculousness. Out of this world.
It's ridiculous, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Mingyu, he's just this hard type character.
Oh, yeah. Definitely nothing soft about him.
He just comes through and he plays like it. It doesn't take much to really get him to stand up and do his thing. And here for Insight, he's just doing exactly
He likes to hit fast, likes to hit hard and early around that red buff. Just full penetration with the enfeeble passive.
I mean, he's got the Titan's Bane.
That's true.
He's going for it. Wants to make sure that the players that are going to itemize against him, he's able to get on through. And then he can do what he's been doing this entire time is you see the way he's positioning himself. He's in and out, in and out, in and out of the team fight so that he's never too deep. He's just making sure that he can make his impact from a distance and he can dance his way around and still make it all work.
And he's just not really worried about even getting too close to them to mount it even further because he is fearless and reckless. There's just no protection when you're dealing with Mingyu.
Well, I mean, that fearlessness is what allows Insight to push it this far. 28-7, 22 minutes, and they've been doing whatever they want. They've just been able to run it up mid and fight wherever they want. We saw the punishment for the over-aggression on the left-hand side, but haven't really seen much of it since. And Insight, 14,000 gold up now They're going to look for the play. Leave going right on in there.
They're going to stun out Sleepy to prevent any sort of follow-up. It was a good cage, zoning out 3 members. Yada will go down, but giving up Simply's life in the process.
Mingyu picks up 1. Chuckles gets down with the dank. 5 kills without a death. 5-0-12. But it's the double un for the Hunter. And Gora's on his last legs. Mingyu has already expended the ultimate, so the tower will have to suffice.
Tier 2 tower looking very tasty, but Sean is looking even better if they really want to commit. Doinks are going to have to retreat off on that one. Left side Phoenix has respawned. 2 fire minion waves will flood down there. Doinks are going to take care of it momentarily, while the rest of his team still very healthy, minus Yada.
Yep, Goras is here, jumped on, impaled! Chuckles with the last hit. The assist coming from the Hunter, of course. Doinkster might wind up in trouble on the left side. Insight going for the kill. Sean is nobody's boy. Doinkster gets the kill. 8-3-11 for the jungler. What are you doing, Simply?
That's not the player that you really want to grab. He's going to land back into safety. Desert Fury did a decent amount of damage. That was only about 4 to 5 spears.
Sleepy right now going to get hit with the last doink. Jungler now looking for some help. Inside are farming kills. Just kill the Titan, boys.
I mean, they will, but look, the bodies are being thrown at them before they even get to the throne room. This is the first time the Titan is even leashed. This game took a little bit longer, actually, than the last game, but in a more dominating fashion.
Yeah, 24 minutes on the clock here as Insight put the last bits of damage onto the Titan. Vulcan gonna get the kill. Goras takes care of Chuckles. And Insight take care of Jackson 5. 2 games. That's it. But less than 45 minutes on the clock as well. Smooth moves coming out from these guys.
Such smooth moves. The clear-cut strategy of invading the red buff repeatedly from Mingyu and the rest of Insight is what allowed them to just control this whole game.
Wonderful. I mean, this was just a lesson in dominance. We saw them get a little bit overexcited, though.
Yep.
On the left side for that Phoenix push, they did get punished by Jackson 5. And when you're down 15,000 gold and lose a team fight, you did something wrong. So great job of Jackson 5's, great job to Jackson 5 to identify, that was sort of their window of opportunity. But unfortunately for J5, unable to really make that one happen.
I think it's all off of the back of not only Mingyu, but Doinkster playing the Najee game 1 into the Dodgy game number 2. And the team fights is what really started to show the weaknesses from Jackson 5. The Odin Cage wasn't really too fruitful the way that they wanted to. The Zhang Kui for Insight being picked up very early in both drafts, showing its strengths.
Yeah, Mingyu showing his strength, just able to get off to a wild start and continue that going forward. Started swinging like crazy. Look at the damage he was able to output. 300 per basic on a tank.
Oh, yeah. All the penetration for this on her was just too much for Jackson 5 to handle. Couldn't hold on. And look at this blink.
Oh, that was so
It looked
hot.
like it was going to definitely
That was so hot. He was going to walk right into it. He had to blink and gets it off. Nice play there coming out for the jungle, who Doinkster, like you said, maybe he needs to warm up. The first couple of minutes of game number 1, some missed abilities, ends up Najee doing very well in the mid to late game. Then on this character, the Dodgy, everything coming up Millhouse for him and his team. So fantastic look so far. Let's take a look at what's going on here in the grand scheme of things in the SGS.
So far in the Latin American North, it's Why So Serial dropping their games to Lodo Gaming. Maybe Why So Serial won't make it to this next upcoming lane. No surprise, Nocturne still showing their strengths in the southern region. Brazil, No Ping finding victories over ET's Black Dragons, trying to catch up to No Ping by finding the victory over Nene's.
Masha Boys taking care of business in SEA, and then Atletico in their cool jackets going to beat up Uyghur Servo. So Southeast Asia, substitutes losing to Gommel. And then, of course, we just watched Insight take care of the Jackson 5. So with all those changes, this is, we're going to see what the standings look like as well in just a moment. Insight versus Jackson 5 winds up with a win for the Insight boys.
Well, that's going to conclude week number 4 for Oceania at the very least, but we're still going to have a lot more action later down the day.
Yeah, of course, we've got the SMITE Pro League coming on as well. Make sure to tune in for that for 1 p.m. Certainly very exciting there. And, of course, don't forget about Hi-Res Expo and all of the fun stuff. 1 o'clock p.m. our time. We'll see you there for the SMITE Pro League.